Hello and thanks for coming to check this out. This is going to be a quick guide that's just intended to set us up for the next projects we're going to do about automated titles. So what we're going to do is make what I call a 4-point linked frame, not really sure what to call it. So let's get started. I just have a rectangle shape in here, any dimension, it doesn't matter, I just have it at 750 and 300 for height and width. The size really doesn't matter because if you've been following along, you know that the frame that we're going to use is the size is going to be determined by the text that we align and link it to. Right, the first thing I want to do then is come to my library. I'm going to come to select content and we're going to search for cross and we're going to choose this first one here. Apply that. And I'm just going to stick it in a group of its own. And then I'm going to put these both in another group. I'm going to call this group anchors, otherwise I'd call it tracking depending on what I'm using it for. I'll grab this crosshair and increase the scale to 200 to make it easier for you to see. The size really doesn't matter. Okay, I'm going to name this one A. And A because this is going to go in this corner, so I do it by thinking we've got 4 corners. I like to label them A, B, C, and D. Let's come to X position. We're going to grab parameter behavior link and I'm going to call this one X position. Drag in the frame as the source. Choose for the source parameter attributes edges left. Then we're going to duplicate that link, call it Y position, and then change target parameter to properties transform position Y and source parameter to attributes edges top. So we just bolted this crosshair onto the corner. Okay, duplicate A. I'm going to call it B because this one's going to go into corner B. The X position is what we want to change, Y position we'll leave it there. Going to take source parameter, change it to be right. Duplicate B. Going to call it C. And this we want to leave X alone. Let's grab Y. Change from top edge to bottom edge. And then duplicate again. I'm going to call it D. Change X position from right edge to the left. Okay, so now what you want to do is grab that main group, come to the favorites library, drag it in so that you can find it easily and bring it into the next projects that we're going to do. Now what we'll do is have a quick chat about the benefits of bolting these crosshairs onto the frame. Okay, so I just have A selected here in this corner. So first of all, so basically these anchors, and I'm just using 4, and in this format, 4 corners on a rectangle, I think you can see you can do this in lots of other situations. These anchors are going to be things that we can use to act as null sources. They can be used to create positions for other items, satellite items, that will always auto-adjust with the frame position. So if we change the frame around, you'll see that these crosses are following. So let's grab A and now check the position values, you see that it has these X and Y coordinates here. So if I come back to the frame and change that, you'll see that these values have changed. So benefit number one, we can use these, we can link other things to these values, and that's a good thing to do. And we'll be looking at doing that with the next automated titles projects. Coming back to the links themselves, they have offsets that we've seen before. So if I set minus 200 on the Y, actually 200 on the Y, and let's go for the X minus 100. So I can create coordinates up here that are always going to adjust in relation to their original position. So if I grab the frame again and make adjustments, that satellite object's going to stay in its relative position. And from what we've covered before, links have the mix slider that we can animate by keyframing. We can turn links on and off by rigging to pop-ups. So we're going to be looking at using these to create peripheral objects such as subtitles, icon symbols that you want to always be in the right place and adjusting with the text. And I think you realize by now we're not using the line 2 behavior at all, so it's really good for system performance too, or at least for me with my system. I think that pretty much covers it. Oh, okay. The only other thing to say is that this is also setting us up to bring in line paths to use for automated titles as well. We'll be using the X and Y positions that the crosshairs provide us to link by point tracking to points of lines as well. Okay, thanks for checking it out. If you followed along, don't forget to save it to favorites. We'll be using this for the next automated titles project coming up.